All right, day 156, leg day. Fucking leg day. So, I've been chilling out on heavy pressing for legs. That kind of ends up being my. I don't really do deloads per se. Like, for. In the next few weeks, once I start dieting, my chest workout will look exactly the same. Right? I'll still, try to bench as heavy as possible. It'll just end up being a little bit lighter weight. I'll just start to get weaker as I start to lose body fat and weight. But with legs, I do chill out on squats. Um, Part of me would probably describe it as just saying like they're very taxing, right? And I end up getting very fatigued from the squats because I'm working my glutes too, lower back's getting a lot of activation. Uh, it's just a hard ass movement. At least, heavy, right? Doing heavy squats. So for that reason, pretty much when I'm dieting and I'm just trying to, you know, give my hamstrings and quads work, I chill out on them. Plus, it gives me a little time to let my knees relax. But who knows? Maybe I just don't squat because subconsciously I'm a fucking pussy. No, I just don't want to take a break. No, I do think it's probably good for me at least to chill out on the squats. But you know, once the bulk gets going again in a few months, we'll ramp them back up. Make sure I don't tweak my adductor like this time, and we can get back to playing around with 6 plates. 6 plates was feeling pretty heavy at the end of this bulk. Um, Whereas on the last one, since I was squatting pretty consistently, the top set was 6 plates for 8. I think there's a TikTok with that set. That'd be deep, deep in the account. So, as a substitute, well, really there is no substitute for the squats, right? I'm going to go into the Planet Fitness since it's the weekend and all of my normal gyms close at 6. Couldn't tell you why. Do not love that. But, even the Planet Fitness closes early. They're supposed to be 24-hour, but this one closes at 9. Not cool. Not very cool. But whatever. I've got enough time for a filthy leg pump. Yeah, so like I was saying, hamstrings is the same as normal, just hamstring curls, seated, lying. Maybe I'll do some single leg, maybe I'll do double leg, some pause reps, pretty much whatever. I'd say hamstring curls of any variety are my bread and butter for hamstrings, obviously. I do like RDLs, so maybe I'll do some Smith machine RDLs, throw those in the mix as well. Get a pretty good squeeze. I don't really recommend going super heavy on RDLs, just because when I do it, I always get too much lower back and glute activation. Right? Oh fuck. Oh, whoops. I almost went the wrong way to a different gym. But yeah, so I don't really recommend going insanely heavy on RDLs, just because you're going to end up working muscles that you don't really want to target, right? You're going to end up working your glutes and your lower back, whereas all you really want to work is your hamstrings, if that's your intention, right? So I'll probably do hamstring curls first, and then move on to RDLs once I'm already pre-exhausted, so I don't have to go so heavy, but I can still do a hard set. And by the time hamstrings are pumped, I'll move on to quads, which is pretty much just going to be leg extensions. That's the meat of the quad day that I have planned. I'll probably throw in a little bit of variations as well. But I mean, if I had to pick just one movement for quads to forever, it would be leg extensions. I love them. If your knees do not agree with them, maybe you should be watching more knees over toes guy. He's infamous for fucking helping people's knees. So as far as I've heard, I never watch his stuff, but he seems to know what he's talking about. So enough chit chat. Let's just get started. So I don't typically start with this machine when I do a leg day here. Usually I start with the seated leg curl on the other side, and I'll come over here afterwards. But honestly, I don't know why I thought to try it. But I warmed up double leg, half the stack, 3/4 the stack, full stack, and the stack feels fucking pretty heavy. So I think I'll just sit here and do some single leg sets. Not slow and controlled, more like, rapid, kind of just forcing the reps out of the tank. And that should fatigue the fuck out of the hamstrings and get a perfectly good pump started. So let's get fucking hyped up. Shit. Yeah, fucking 4-ish more of those. Ought to be perfect. Ooh. Oh, goodness. Actually, let's change it up. Let's go do some seated curls. Same mentality as the last two sets. Just fucking throw the stack around and go hard. Simple. Probably the go hard part is the most important. I could do a set even with half the stack. As long as I go hard, it'd be pretty good. But in the beginning of a lift, typically I like to go a bit heavier. So I'm not sure you can even notice, but those first few reps when I'm the strongest, it might not even look like it, but it feels like I just pause the weight for just a moment at the bottom and try to get an extra little bit of squeeze. And obviously towards the end of the set, I'm just trying to get as many reps as possible. So I think probably maybe 2 more here, and then we'll go back to the laying one. Again, double leg curls, but instead of just doing the whole stack, trying to bounce it around like bananas, I'll go a little bit lighter and do some pause, well, not really pause reps. I guess I'd call them half tempo reps, half reps, whatever. I'll curl it halfway up, pause it for a moment, and then finish the rep. Then go down like normal, come halfway up, pause it for just a second, then finish the rep, right? I'll probably do, however many reps of that, and then burn out with just normal reps. Just a little bit of a way to change it up. I wouldn't want to just do straight sets forever. I want to get a little bit of variation in my training. So these last two will just be heavy, throw some weight around, just kind of finish off the pump. Let's get quads started. I think I'll start with single leg extensions. And I guess if you have a Planet Fitness, then you would know about this leg extension in particular, but it's not the same as like your typical one because it doesn't have a, I don't even know what the component is called, but it doesn't have like that round thing that, whatever, it's slightly different in its construction, right? So I'm not sure I can even explain it right now, but the weight isn't constant, right? Typically on a leg extension, you feel pretty much the same weight the whole time. There's no strength curve. But with this one, since it's sort of like a simplified design, it kind of gets lighter at the top, right? So, you can use that to your advantage because you can load up, pretty decent amount of weight, and then you'll be able to squeeze it better at the top. I'm not sure this information even applies to you at all, but whatever. Main idea is I'm going to start with some heavy single leg extensions. Not too heavy. This is about half the stack-ish. I'll probably do 3 or 4 sets of these and then move on to some kind of variation of a leg extension after this. But I accidentally paused the video on that first set, but it looks pretty similar to this one. I think I'm going to do some double leg. Getting close to close, so may as well do a slightly more efficient set, at least, time-wise. Like, I pretty much would say I do prefer single leg for leg extensions, but, double leg is pretty close. So these next 2, or yeah, I'll do 2 more here. I'm not going to focus so much on slow squeezing style reps. I got the whole stack. I'm just really going to try to burn the quads out to hell. Okay, let's do something else. Before I do any kind of like supersets, like in the next few sets, I'm gonna do like a set of leg extension, double leg, and then jump onto like maybe the machine leg press or just sissy squats. But I'll do a few more just of leg extensions. So I'm thinking single leg, moderate weight, just a straight set like usual. So I didn't record the last few because I was in a bit of a rush. I'll just record this last one. So the idea is pre-exhaust the quads by whatever means necessary. You can just do a straight set, double leg. I'm going to do a single leg sort of rest pause, right? So light-ish weight, and I'll do one leg, 5 reps, really squeeze at the top, get a good burn, and I'll go back and forth maybe 3 or 4 times. So 5 on the right, 5 on the left. That counts as 1. 5 on the right, 5 on the left, 5 on the blah, 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 right? Until I feel like they're pretty good and well worked. Then I'll stand up, do some body weight sissy squats, where I try not to bend at my waist at all. I'm just trying to like lean forward and only extend my quads. I mean, you'll see in a second. You'll see what I'm talking about. And then we can go check the pump. Should be pretty fucking good. I'm already feeling tense as hell. Okay. Okay. Shit. Oh, God. Oh. Yeah, those are fucking interesting. I love doing those as a drop set, but it's just a crazy feeling because it's not the same sort of feeling as like doing a squat or a leg press. I almost feel like I'm treating my quads as rubber bands and just bouncing off of them. But fuck, dude, that's tense. Even without flexing, it feels fucking hard, which is a good ass sign that you did something right for quads. So let's go check it out. Okay. Yeah, perfect. So, legs was pretty much exactly as fucking expected, right? Hamstrings, I didn't do the RDLs like I predicted I may, but whatever. I don't know. I'm not even a massive RDL fan anyway. Like, I like them, but, only enough to throw in every so often. All right, they're not a staple of my hamstring workout. But they do hit your hamstrings in a different way, so definitely worth throwing in every so often. But yeah, let's fucking see what we did with quads today. Damn, these shorts are getting a little small. Very good sign. Holy shit. Yeah, fucking going heavy on quads. This pump is way better than the last leg day pump. Ooh. Dude, even my hamstrings are... That's literally as far as I can bend them. Dude, I got like a fucking pimple right here. It's starting to bother me on those leg curls. Because it was like right on top of the ledge. So just all my pressure was getting put on it. But did not let it stop the pump. Not at all. So hopefully we can get a few of these veins to go away, get a little bit more bulked up. And then once the cut starts, quads are gonna look freaky. For me, unpumped at least, I'm starting to develop like feathering. You can't really see it now, especially because I'm pumped, but this is more of kind of a niche bodybuilding piece of info. Like the regular lifter wouldn't really get to this level, but pretty much mainly your quads in some areas and your triceps. When they get developed enough, they'll start to get this extra grainy look, which is just fucking insane. My triceps aren't there yet, or maybe I've never been lean enough to, reveal that. But for me, on the last cut, even though I didn't get totally diced, I was starting to see some in the quads. So hopefully I'll do this cut a little bit longer and start to see some real craziness. But let's go to the fucking car, get the dextrose going. Oh, okay. A few minutes have passed. I was totally out of gas. Like, okay, not, it was saying I had 0 mile range, but you've still got a little bit of oomph left when you get to that point, you know what I'm saying? I probably didn't really have zero, so. When I got gas, I stopped at the gas station to get a thing of, Lifesavers I'm gonna eat, and then a Gatorade. Fitting the criteria of post-workout carbs. But come on. That's not going to beat the dextrose shake. You crazy? So let's just slam this and then get out of here. That was a good-ass quad day, though. I was really going hard. It felt good to go heavy on quads. I've been, like I was saying, I've kind of been going a little easier on them, just so I don't, pull the right one. But it was feeling good. So, I pretty much followed my, my minor injury technique, which is going to be, if something hurts, just fucking lay off it, only do a little, or only do as much as you can do without discomfort, you know? So let's say if I've kind of had a repetitive chest tweak, well, pull, probably pull, because when I originally did it, I was going really heavy on flat bench. So this is way back when, you haven't seen me flat bench ever. Uh, but yeah, so it was a decent pull, like a real burning feeling. So muscular, it was kind of right, some kind of deep something. I don't really know the physiology, but whatever. So right when I did that, even just going to bed and like just flexing my pec a little, that fucking hurt. So there was no chest for me for like a month. And then once it kind of started to get a little better, I put a little bit of tension on it. I was doing just some light flies. You know, I didn't just jump straight back into bench. Right, I did just a little bit that I could handle. Enough where you kind of have to use your best judgment, but enough work where I know I wasn't re-injuring it, right, and pushing myself back. But the sooner you can get moving, I think that it's going to improve your healing. The last thing I'd want to do is just not even touch chest for like 3 months and then get back into it. Whereas, I could just get back into it a bit earlier, get some extra blood flow, get even a minor pump, get some blood and nutrients in the area, right? Doesn't that fucking sound good? It most certainly does. So let's slam this shake and get home. Actually, not get home. I'm going to stop at Wendy's. Oh, yeah. That hits the spot. So I was cutting it a little close with the workout today. I did that yesterday too. So I only did, I think, 10 sets of hamstring curls. Or did I do 11? Maybe I did. I don't remember. But I did do 9 sets of quads. I didn't do the full 11. But still within my recommended range. By the time you do 8 to 12 sets for a muscle group, you should be pretty pumped. And I'm starting to think that maybe even a little less volume than that, right? Like I just did, arms last night, and I only did 6 sets, or no, I did 7 sets of biceps, and I still got just as pumped as any other lift. So, starting to think maybe a little bit less volume is just as effective, potentially even a little more effective. But this shit isn't, rep ranges and stuff like that. It's not completely universal, you know. You're gonna want to find out what's best for you. I just did a whole rant talking about that in the last car talk. But yeah, let's get back to talking about legs. So for the most part, I would say that you're gonna want to do some heavy pressing for quads. It definitely is gonna improve your quad strength. And probably just your overall leg strength. You know, when I do heavy squats, I'm definitely doing a little bit of something with my hamstrings and glutes. You know, there is certainly a little bit of glute development you want, right? But I'm not going to sit here on like the uh, what do they even call it? Yeah, like the glute bridge machine. There's no chance you're ever going to catch me on that. You know, my fucking butt's big enough. That's one thing as a bulked lifter. That's where I got a lot of fat. Uh, Pretty much I end up carrying it in like a little bit in the lower, in just the stomach, lower back, and butt. For the most part, my legs, my arms, chest up here all stays pretty lean. But leg curls went pretty hard. The seated leg curl at that gym, it's not that heavy. It only goes up to, I don't know, whatever weight, but it's not heavy enough. So that laying curl felt heavier. So that's why I started with that instead of my typical, seated hamstring curl starter. And then, I mean, like you saw, fucking quads is pretty basic. It's just fucking spamming leg extensions. Uh, I'll get back into, well, I'll get back into some other kinds of pressing, like some uh, maybe weighted sissy squats on the Smith machine. I do like that. Um, at another gym that I go to that you've probably seen in circulation, they have a machine hack squat. So you don't have to load plates on it. There's like a weight stack. And that feels really good. Like, in all honesty, that's probably my favorite pressing movement for quads. Uh, it's up there with squats for sure, but it's pretty fucking good. And my knees are tough enough where I like doing it kind of Tom Platz style, where you put your weight on your toes, and then you don't really bend at the waist. You mainly bend just at your knees. Making the movement a bit more quad, well, if not completely quad dominant, right? So yeah, fuck. What else? Oof, not much, man. You know, still as good a leg day as any. Uh, Even though it was at a fucking Planet Fitness, I still can. I mean, I understand the hate, but it's got fucking machines. It's got cables. It's got some free weights, Smith machines. Not the fucking worst gym ever. $10 a month too. Uh, and the hours are really what get me. Because I've been known to get, let's just say, lose control of my sleep schedule in some instances, right? I've been known to kind of, if you've been watching these long enough, some of the last, or not the last, but some old workout videos, you know, by the time I was driving back home, the sun was coming up. And I had just been awake that late because I woke up at like 4 p.m. or something just from, being irresponsible. But if you got a gym that, closes early, like I got a family, so when I don't have a membership at all these gyms per se. We got a family Y membership, and then I've got the Metro and the Planet Fitness membership. So a little bit better for me. I don't have to pay for all three, but the Metro Fitness is kind of far, and the Y has weird hours during the weekend. Uh, you know, like today they closed at 6, and so does the Metro, right? So I wasn't free until like 7. People got fucking shit going on in their life. So if you can handle the hit of getting multiple gym memberships, then that'll just make it a little bit easier for you to get your lifts in, right? Because I could definitely see how somebody could think to themselves, Oh, the gym closed early today? Fuck. No lift. No lift for me. Whoops. Come on, man. It's You don't want to give yourself that kind of excuse. So, I'm gonna get a spicy chicken, large strawberry frosty, and in probably about 2 hours after some other food, I'm gonna fucking pass out and get ready for chest tomorrow, which should be freakier or just as freaky as this leg day. So, I will see you next time.